You're joined with personal space. Are you Perth, bro?
Nah, Brisbane.
Brisbane.
How did you start with the music? Who are your top inspirations or influences? Do you have any artists popping from Brizzy or?
We got Nerve's from Brizzy. That's probably our most poppin', or Lizzie. Lizzie's from Brizzy as well. That's our most poppin' artists. We got a few. We got Dwiz of Oz as well. That was probably my biggest influence coming up. Was Dwiz of Oz. He's from around this area as well, so it's like he was the person to look to. He had the bars. He was running the battle league. He was like the man as far as I was concerned. But at the moment with the new wave, yeah, Brizzy's. We've got our wave. That's for sure.
And with rap, are you more into the beats or are you more of a guy who's into the wordplay and the poetry?
Pretty much, bro. Yeah, it was the poetry side of it. For me, it's always been the manipulation of language. That is what it is for me. And then the music side of it branches off from that. The battle side of it branches off from that. But it's like the creativity side of it for me, for sure. Mum and dad sort of listened to Triple M, so it was rock coming up. First rap song I heard was "Put Your Back Into It" by Ice Cube. And then sort of from there, it was kind of like, wow, okay, this is like a different sort of, vibe. And then from there, I was pretty much hooked, man. Pretty much, I was the Wigger dude all through school. And then after I got into the battle side of it, because I could rhyme, but I still wasn't comfortable on beats. And I needed to find a way where I could show my skills and not need to flow, so to speak. So I just went into the battle thing, did the battle thing for a couple of years, and then sort of finished up there, straight into the music thing. 2020 started the music.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty similar. It's just I was never into the battles. I've never done battling, nothing. So it's pretty interesting that you're into that.
You guys had the Bars O2 event, I remember, that was popping off, but there was like a few controversial figures from my perspective, a few controversial figures in that, and it kind of was being pushed for the wrong reasons and in the wrong direction. But nah, Real Talk is the Brisbane League. Hosted Disaster from like the Disaster. The Wizard of Oz battled Disaster at one of the events. We were at one point before COVID getting the internationals over, and we were kicking off. Real Talk was not we. I mean, I wasn't doing shit. I was just battling, but they were like getting. It was awesome. Bonnie Godiva, Head Ice, Dundee battled Head Ice. I remember. COVID, as far as the last battle I had was with Sage Moon in 2019, and then it pretty much, as far as I know, that was like the last of anything to occur, and then it's all just sort of yeah. And they did one on-beat event, and they were talking about pushing more on-beat events because any casual rap fan knows 8 Mile, and then when you're like offbeat a cappella battles, it's kind of like they're turned off by the fact that it's not like 8 Mile. They're not listening to your intricacies and your rhyme patterns and all that shit. They just want to hear you flowing like 8 Mile. So they started doing on beats, and they had one on beat event, and then everything shut down basically. It's just a different, you need to be a different fan. You need to be there to listen to, and as it evolves, the fans evolve too, because they understand what they're listening for, as opposed to just he landed on that snare and that sounded cool. He dissed him in this way and that sounded cool.
The offbeat stuff is a lot more gritty and kind of raw. Like I see a lot of the clips I see of rap battles are offbeat stuff. And you have to be a hardcore rap, like deep rap fan to like be really into the offbeat stuff. But I think it's fucking hectic. I reckon it's cool as.
Sure. It's definitely a test, bro. Like you're standing in a room full of people while someone's throwing your insecurities in your face. Like take this, you useless fuck. Like this is what you are. This is what you can't do. This is what you're less than me at. And you just got to stand there and be like, okay, cool. If you're good enough, you can flip something they've said. That's pretty much the only thing you can do besides go into your next round. But Propaganda Poet is what I battled under. If anyone wants to check out the battles back in the day.
Yeah, I will.
Did you ever get into Real Talk? Or?
I never made it to the Real Talk page. I was Real Talk Gauntlet, so it was kind of like the B grade. But yeah, Real Talk has a page on YouTube. Gauntlet has a page on YouTube. On my YouTube page, Personal Space Hip Hop, I've got a playlist with all my battles in chronological order. So sort of so you can see the progression, because at the start I was kind of like focused on word association. I had no idea what a punchline was. I just thought that if I said 3 things of the same topic in the same line and it rhymed at the end, then that was fantastic. And also had a bit of chip on my shoulder. And it wasn't until I stepped up to one of the heads of Real Talk and he kind of wiped the floor with me and showed me that a little bit of swag can absolutely blow mad preparation out of the water. If you don't have bars, you don't have punchlines, you don't have all the other sides of it. It was just really a wake-up call that like, I'm not the shit and I need to like get better.
So when you go into these battles, is it a lot of, do you pre-write a verse and then try slip in some responses and rebuttal on the fly, or is it just all on the fly? Like, how does that work?
You usually, like, if I was battling you, I'd be told I'm battling you about a month in advance. So for me, I'd put your name I'd get a piece of paper and put your name in the middle and write everything that I can about you around there. So then I have like a bubble chart or whatever they call it. So I know the sort of topics. I'll have ones that obviously I know are going to hit harder. So they're going to be the ones that I'm going to set out through the rounds. Each round has to have a haymaker throughout it so that it keeps the energy. You really want to catch the crowd's energy at the start, the person do their round, and then that sort of even out, and then you push the energy up again, and then you push the energy up again. You don't want to falter off, because as I felt with my battle with Haruli, he just snatched the crowd. My bars were so much better than his, but he just took the crowd with his delivery and his energy, and then that was it. Everything that I did from then on got a less reaction because I'd lost the crowd. They liked him from there. And I was fighting back to try and like, and then it was just like, and it's hard when you've got something that you know is so good and then you just get crickets to it and you're like, and then you try not to lose your shit because you're like, oh, I was waiting for a mad reaction for that. Okay, what's next? What you were saying about the freestyle, I've got decent freestyle ability, but I was always too worried about choking to try and freestyle. So I would just go there, do my bars that I knew I had prepped. That's the best thing though. If you can take the best thing that someone said and flip it at the start of your round, nullify their best punchline, and then come in. That's basically what you should be doing each round, taking out their best punchline. It's all about fixing the crowd's energy back towards your side.
It's intense, man. It's like a full-on show, like fucking hell.
It's great, bro.
So you're saying that you can 100% win one of these battles with just gaining crowd favoritism and winning just by having a little bit of swagger?
Bro, Propaganda Poet versus Haruli is a fucking example of that. I thought I was going to wipe the floor with him. My shit is so dope. And his bars aren't even that hard. He's just fucking good at his, yeah. I recommend it. It's a good battle. I stepped away for 2 years after that and had some life shit go on. And then when I came back, I had the Sage Moon one. And see, I had fuck teeth the entire time battling. So having fuck teeth was the target. I constantly, every battle pretty much, they'll bring that up. The Sage Moon one, I'd gotten my teeth fixed, as you can see. So, bro, I was just like a charismatic, absolutely. Like the level from watching the Haruli one and my confidence to then watching the Sage Moon one, the teeth played such an impact because I was able to just like, you've all laughed at me about this shit for fucking 5 years. Now
you take away the ammunition.
Literally, bro. Literally. And that was a good battle too. And he's a homie, so it was good to get it popping.
So I know you're good homies with Meg. How did you guys meet and get about working together?
I was doing a video shoot with Acism with Evil Ebenezer.
Oh, yeah.
Don't Leave Me Hanging featuring Evil Ebenezer. I was on the video shoot for that, and Meg was there that day, and we met, and it was just sort of like we just clicked, bro. And now, yeah, he's my best friend. He lives on the other side of town, so it's like, and he's got kids, so it's kind of like when we make it happen, we make it happen. And me and him are the conquest. That's what we're pushing towards. I've stopped my solo shit, or the 26th of August is my last solo song, and then we're just pushing forward with the conquest for the next few months. We've got an EP ready to go. We're gonna have a launch show. We're gonna do it properly.
Yeah, that's dope.
So you guys are going to stop pushing the solo projects for now?
Yep. And then we're just gonna focus on the conquest stuff. But we're gonna release it like Gorilla Twins, Neems and Ill Bill. The way that they released the Gorilla Twins was Ill Bill, Neems, and Gorilla Twins. So we're going to release it like that: Personal Space, Megalodon, and the Conquest.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I've been thinking, because in 2020, my most viewed Spotify numbers was number 1, Gorilla Twins, number 2, Ill Bill, and number 3, Nems. And then all of the other artists I listened to. Just because I fucked with that EP so heavy, those 3 were at the top of my... So using that logic, that was my plan with Conquest. We're going to take... It's dope, bro. It's 5 songs, the best I've created, definitely. I got Young Stitch on the feature. I got Duran the rapper on the feature. That's all we've got on the features so far. For sure. He said he just wants us to dedicate a few months just to Conquest, and then we'll continue with we'll pick up with our solo shit again.
Is there a release date for the EP or anything yet?
Well, I suggested 17th of November, which is my birthday. So if we can get it all done and by November, then that'll be, and then a few weeks after that, we'll have a release show. So he's talking to me at the moment about who we're going to have on the release show and budgets for the release show and stuff like that. But I definitely think we need a release show.
That'd be dope, man.
How do you guys go about trying to organise shows up in Brizzy? I know it's quite hard here in Sydney to even get a venue for shows.
Of course, yep. As soon as you mention hip hop, they envision their toilets getting tagged and they're fucking... Yeah. There's too much bad stigma around hip hop events. Well, we've had the same. We've had our era of our delinquent hip hop fans, but it seems that it's just sort of evolved, and there's not that. I don't sing that so much in Brizzy anymore. I don't host events though, so I don't know. I don't deal with that side of it. No. We're just going to find a venue. The venue that we're looking at is where I saw Necro play, so it's decent venue. The few people we've got on the supports are all like big names that'll bring a relatively big crowd. And then we've got features with some of them people throughout the night, so we'll be like kicking around throughout the night, and then come out at the end and do the EP start to finish. Bam, bam. It feels like you put out a song, it's consumed in 3 minutes, and then that's it. It's like it's just disappeared. I want it to be like something that is like legit, tangible, exists as a moment. Yeah, exactly. And we've got some plans. I won't mention it here because I'll wait for the night, but we've got some plans that'll make it even more unique. So the EP is called Shallow Waters, by the way. Mega's the artist, the creative artist behind everything. He's the graphic designer. That's what he does. So he's been able to graphically design everything. All the songs are going to have their own artwork. It's going to... I've reached out to Dan the Underdog is my go-to. Shout outs to Dan. He's been my go-to since the fucking very, very, very beginning. Number 1. But that's for beats, that's for mixing. Dan does it all. But I've moved on to Daniel Raymond a bit more for the producing. I've still got Dan there. I use Daniel Raymond a bit more for the producing. As far as mixing, I use Deezer in Adelaide. I use Rob Shaker in Perth. I use Brendan James in Brisbane. There's a few around that are dope and incredibly affordable. So that's what I've been using. Like Brendan James does Mercules and shit. So
yeah, I fuck with Mercules, man. Yeah, that's dope.
When I saw that, I was like, holy shit, okay, yeah, bro, I'll get you to mix my song, sure. Bro, affordable as fuck, yeah. Especially Rob Shaker. Rob Shaker, take my hats off to Shaker. Shaker's an amazing man. I've told him that I want at least 4 music videos for the Conquest stuff. So we've got one in the works as far as it hasn't been filmed yet, but like we're pretty much ready to film. So as we're releasing the songs, what a lot of artists do, then to keep the buzz flowing, then we're going to have the videos release. I often find that I'll listen to a song, it's not bad. I listen to a song and watch the video, and then bang, something about those two things combined, and then I love that song. So that's what I'm aiming for. If the song didn't hit you the first time, then with the dope visuals, re-spark the buzz a little bit more, keep it going a little bit longer. Yeah. And we've got some dope shit, man. It's going to be fucking a lot of topics. Like the Working Man, we've got a Working Man anthem. We got a like Fuck the System anthem. We've got a fucking, I don't even know how to describe it, man. Like a Bliss and Esso fucking draft song.
Yeah.
That's, bro, when he sent me his verse for that, I've probably written 6 verses trying to get one that's close enough to being good enough. I'm there now, I think. It's taken a lot of molding, but bro, his first verse, and now we're both struggling to write second verses that are as good as the first verses. But that's right. We'll get it done. That's the best thing. We'll get it done.
I like your whole attitude and approach to it all. It reminds me. It's like an old school kind of approach to things. It's like a different side of Aussie hip hop. It reminds me a lot of the Bliss and Nesso type stuff. You know what I mean? And I think it's fucking awesome, especially in this day and age, man. That people like you are doing big stuff and keeping it alive, man. Like that more kind of. It's more like a feel-good type of scene, not like so much a grungy, like kind of stab your fucking, mate type shit.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, from the start, I don't do drugs and I don't kill people. I don't talk about those things. I never will. Yeah, for sure. There's a market for it. That's why it's popping the way it is. But hip-hop's always started out of the grittiness, though. It's always got to have an element of grittiness. I just don't believe promoting violence or pushing violence through the music. As Spanian spoke about that time when he was like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I'm not making these fucking stomp your head songs anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. That's sort of how I was from the start. Like my first project was extended perspectives, and throughout the project, I do perspectives of all different things. I do a fucking cockroaches perspective. I do a pillows perspective in an abusive relationship. I do a drink driver's perspective, like all this different, because I wanted it to be like not what's out there at the moment. I wanted it to be something that makes you think. Crooked Eye sort of shit, locksmith sort of shit. Yeah, exactly.
You just reminded me something you said there. I wanted to ask. Personal space, the name. What was how'd you come up with that? Where'd that start? Like, because I was always wondering. I was like, personal space. I've never heard anything like that before. It's interesting.
Crazy, eh? Yeah, no. In grade 4, bro, we were in like a pretend band. We never made any music. We never did anything. We were all members, played instruments, and we were called Personal Space. Literally. So I just held on to it, yeah. And then like when I was a skater, I was like, yeah, we're Personal Space. It's just sort of followed me throughout all the different trends. And then it wasn't until Propaganda Poet, obviously that was the battle name. Then I went through some life trauma, I guess, and decided I wanted to lean less away from the double time conspiracy rap and actually make like relatable music, make like shit about breakups and shit about heartbreak and shit about all that sort of shit. And then so it just sort of made sense to change the name. Personal Space just has so many ways that it makes sense, ways that it fits. It was originally me and a dude at work, Robot MC. We were Personal Space together. And one day he came up to me at work. He was like, bro, I don't have the love for it that you do. And I feel like I'm holding this whole thing back. So I was like, damn, bro, because I love the idea of a duo. That's why when Mega was like down for a duo, I was like, yes, bro, that back and forward. I slip into there and spit a couple of bars and then you jump. I love that shit. I love that.
You can't do it by yourself. Sick.
Yeah. They are, bro. You can't do it by yourself. Even if you change your voice up a little bit, it's just not. K Reno can do it, but nobody else can do it by themselves. It's just not possible. So I was a little bit disheartened by that. I met Acism, who you guys need to check out, ACIZM. And he sort of showed me that, I mean, it's his entire setup that I've got in front of me right now. I bought his entire setup, but he sort of showed me that I could do it. Like there's a market out there and I've got enough ability that I can make music. Bro, I was a SmackDown fan way back. That motherfucker, he shouted my missus a happy birthday at a gig because I asked him if he would.
That's fucking awesome.
How dope is that, bro? Because I had a battle and I used some SmackDown wordplay throughout the battle. And then I sent it to him, was like, bro, like no one else will get this. You'll get this. And I think as like a pay homage back, he shouted her out at the gig, man. I was just like, yeah, I can make moves. Yeah, fuck it.
How did you find balancing making music and working a night shift job?
It really depends on myself and my discipline. If I don't come home and fuck around all night and I come home and get to sleep, then I can get up early-ish and I can get stuff done before I've got to get ready to go to work. Yes, exactly. If that's not the case, I pretty much wake up, have a shower and go to work. So it's I'm either productive during the day because I've got to bed early at night or I'm not. And it's 50-50 through the week. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. It really depends. A lot of times, because witching hour is when everything creative I've ever written has happened at witching hour. Between like 12 and 4 a.m. That spot is when it all, because that's when I'm active. That's when all my best shit, bro. And I can't record it. So I've got it there and I'm like, fuck yeah, get to sleep so I can get up and get it. Those are the ones that I'm asleep so I can get up and get it done. When I'm like your verse, actually, like yours. Heard that was witching out, and I was just like, oh, this is fucking dope, man. I can write some bad shit. Smashed it out, got up in the morning, and then was like just keen to get in, and because I find writing it and rapping it here now and then spitting it on the microphone, it will change. There's just things that will change while you're spitting it on the microphone. It just does. So to get to the final stage, I've got to get through those levels to get to where I'm happy with, basically.
I feel that, bro. I'm the same. If I'm writing something at night before I go to bed, and then I got to go to sleep and wake up in the morning, it's just like I'm so eager to get it done. Usually, if I write something during the day, I'll literally hear the beat, write it, and record it in the same go. I do it all at once. I feel like that works better for me. And if I have to sleep in between, I feel like I'm losing. There's that energy's gone. Like it just dissipates.
That's what you did with this one. Just wrote it in one go.
Yeah, pretty much. Most of my stuff, yeah, I write in one go. Yeah, write it. I can't. It's like a studio session at home, basically. Write, record, and then if I can.
Do you like time it? Do you set up? Okay, for the next hour, we're going to work on this. Shut off everything else. Get in the zone.
Not really, to be honest. I'm pretty on the fly with it. Like my writing process is quick. So that's what I'm interested in you actually as well, is how long does it take you usually from hearing a beat to writing a full verse? Do you take your time with it? Because I'm very quick. I'll listen, I'll write, go line by line. I literally spit the whole verse I've written until I get to the bit that's empty and then fill it in and then start again. Go from the top. That's usually how I write.
Dope. That's what they reckon's best to do. Always be writing something. That's where you get writer's block, is you're not writing anything. Write something and edit it later on and make it dope. Like just as long as the flow, as long as you're continuing on. As for me, it really depends on the beat, bro. It really depends on the beat. Sometimes, a lot of the time actually, I've gotten the habit of writing 85% of a verse and then like trailing off that flow and then just like putting it aside, moving on to the next one, putting it aside, moving on to the next one. But like everything, your habits you create is what pushes what you become. So I've got to get out of the habit of 85% again. I've got to get that last percent done, and that's another verse done. Get that last percent done, that's another verse done. This song, it was one. I sat there, got in the zone, and just did it in one bang. The Megalodon stuff, he comes over, we back and forth it. Most of it has been done in the same room together, it's such a dope feeling. It's such a dope feeling to have like that creative energy to be like, what do you think about this? Yeah, bro, that's dope. What if we put that there? Yeah, and then switch that. Yeah. And he's able to, a lot of artists find it hard to change something that they've suggested into something you've suggested. Straight up, like to say, okay, well, you came up with a way better bar. He's not like that, and I'm not like that. So when it comes to that, it's like the art is the outcome. It doesn't matter if I said that line that sounded better than the line that you came up with, or you said that line that rhymed better than the line I came up with, as long as the last thing is as dope as it could possibly be. And I think that comes down to like, when we're together, we don't have an ego towards each other. We're just like, just happy to be vibing, happy to be working together.
Once I worked with an American dubstep artist, we were making a track and he sent me back the final version with my parts completely taken out. Didn't even let me know that he did it. He just took it out.
Communication, bro. Communication. You'd be surprised the lack of communication people have.
Yeah.
Like you start a collab and then you find out about the last process at the end. Like, hang on, what was happening to the 3 mixes that I could have said, if you can turn that up a bit and change this up a bit and change this up a bit. Bro, I wish I knew more people around here, because I've got the setup. I wish I knew more people around here that could come over and do that. He's the main one though. He's my G, obviously.
Yeah. That setup looks fucking fresh, man. what you got? Yeah, man.
You can't see it, but on the wall we've got all of my signed memorabilia. We've got the Locksmith Lofty Goals signed, the Royce when he toured signed, Tech 9 signed, Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke poster signed. Yeah, I should put that on that wall, but I usually have a projector there that shines on that wall, so that's why I didn't put that up there. Yeah, I'm playing GTA San Andreas at the moment. That's my fucking.
So, what's your approach when writing?
I'll often write multiple verses and then combine them and then stitch them together, change some words so that they rhyme. So often if it's something that I need to get smashed out, like you're like, bro, I need that collab by like the end of the weekend. So I'll be like, all right, cool. Put on the beat, start, get like 8 bars in, and then I start to like either like lose how I'm feeling or it's just not working. Then I'll just be like, all right, let's start again. And I'll do another one. Then I'll start again. I'll do another one. And there's gold amongst all the shit. There's always gold. I say stuff and I'm like, damn, that one line is so fire. That line will end up being stitched into the song somewhere. And I think that's why
I've never heard that.
Patterns feel like they change so much, because they are. It's literally Frankensteining it together. And that's from battle rap. I had a battle bank. So we're battling and I've got a line about something that's relevant to you. I've got that in my battle bank. It needs to be used at some point. I'm going to stitch it into the battle somehow so that it works. I'm pretty sure that's where it comes from.
That now that you say it, that is the most battle rap type shit I've ever heard. I've never heard anyone have like so you'll write a verse, and if it's not working, instead of scrapping it, you keep it, write another one, and then go back and see what you can chop. That is awesome, man. That is such a unique way to do it.
Thank you. Like that verse, what I was saying with Mega, 5 times I've written that verse, and there's some good shit throughout them, because he's such a good writer, I'm trying to reach his level. So everything I'm trying to do my best. And although I haven't used any of those 5 verses yet, some of that shit's going to be heard because I've got it there and it's fire.
Use it on the next song.
Wow, I've got more beats than he wants us to make songs with at the moment. He just wants it to be short and sweet and punchy. So I'm pretty sure once we do a bit more solo shit, I'll be like, we're coming back together for a round 2? And he's going to be like, fuck yeah, we are. Yeah. I'm hoping. Bro, I want to give you your flowers for all the fucking international features that you've gotten. That's every other week I pop up and it's like, fucking, you're with like someone that I've been listening to for like 10 years. And it's like, holy shit, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, the features. I mean, as much like for example, like the game feature, right? You know, not everyone likes the game, right? But everyone knows the game, you know. And it's just it was more of a thing of right place at right time and just good timing. So like the features, it's not like. Sometimes you gotta make it work. You know what I mean? Like if you got this opportunity, you can't let it go. So if you have the chance to get a feature that you know is a pretty big name, you got to take it really.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
But yeah, I like doing features, man. I like pushing my own stuff a lot too, but I really enjoy features as well. So that's part of the fun of hip hop, is getting different voices and different people, different ideas, and putting them together. You know what I mean? And
for sure.
Someone who might listen to this person who's never heard you before, they'll share it on their story. We did this song, and then you know it's a great way to get more fans. You know, so
boom. Yeah, like us in our song.
Features.
That was literally what I was thinking. Like, you guys have got a poppin' fucking fan base that would know nothing about me or what I'm about. Get on that beat, kill it. Yeah, I think you said who would rap on this or something like that, and I was like, fuck, that's a banger. I'd rap on that. And like second guess myself, like, he's not gonna pick you, man. Don't even worry about messaging him. And I was like, man, fucking worst he can do is leave me on scene. So I fucking left it. Yeah, and then all good. It came together.
Fuck, man, I love that collab. That turned out so fucking well.
It gave me Lose Yourself vibes, as I told you both in the messages. That was sort of what I was trying to channel when I was going for it. Was some not struggle music, but like, this shit isn't as fun as the fucking posts that you see us put up make it look like. Like, there's so much more to it. There's so much more under it. And artists are normally the ones that deal with the biggest demons. That's why we're artists, to fucking help channel that shit. So it's like behind the camera.
I wasn't expecting, like, when FriendlyFire sent me the song with your verse on it, I was like, I hadn't heard you before, and I was expecting something completely different. And then when you come in, fuck it, let the orchestra play. I was like, bro, this is like fucking this is like Bliss and Esso or something. I was fucking with it hard, man. And then as soon as I heard your voice, I got straight to writing, man, because you inspired me on that song, really.
That's dope, bro. I appreciate that. Fuck yeah. I was inspired that I was on a song with you. I was like, fuck, gotta step it up, man. Gotta step it up. For sure. It's like you want to level yourself up. You don't want to necessarily outdo the other artists, but you want to be at a close enough level on the song. That's where I've found a few features. I've gotten a feature and they've absolutely smashed on the song, like Durand on Connoisseurs. His verse on that is so fucking good that it like almost makes me not want to listen to it because mine isn't. And I feel like you hear my verse and you're like, yeah, this guy's not too bad. Oh my God, this guy's amazing. You know what I mean? So moving forward, it's kind of like, if I'm getting a feature, I have to be close to that good. I'm not putting a song out where there's somebody just bodying me on my song anymore. Those days are done. Those days are done. A little bit of both, I think. I think that with art, you can't really limit what someone wants to do with it. It's their art to do what the fuck they want with it. You don't like it? Turn it off. You know what I mean? So a little bit of that, but then like if you're referring to like the mumble stuff, like I like lyricism, I like bars, I like wordplay. I don't hear that in your music. It turns me off, that sort of music. For me, when it comes to listening, like if someone's suggesting something, it needs to either inspire me creatively. I need to be like that's fucking sick. The way that he made that, or it needs to hit me emotionally. It needs to have one of those two things. There's so much out there and I'm very picky when it comes to what I'm going to spend my time listening to. I'm more likely to just listen to something that I know I like than listen to something new a lot of the time. And that's because it's like because there's so much that it feels like finding the special gems are so rare and so much rarer that moving forward and listening to newer music, it's just like regurgitating the same thing.
Yeah,
yes and no, obviously. There's other artists that do it in a way that's like fire, but Joyner Lucas is obviously like someone that he's done Joyner's style, but every song he releases is still just as dope, in my opinion, just as dope. It's just untouchable.
Yeah. I agree 100%, man. I'm a hard listen, bro. I'm hard to get to listen. Like, first of all, I don't listen to much music to be as much as some other. Like, I'm not in the house bumping music. I only listen to music in the gym or in the car, really. So finding something new, yeah, exactly. Like, and I want to find new stuff, but just trudging through all the stuff that's out there is so like daunting. It's hard for me to find new stuff, you know.
For sure.
Unless it's put in my lap. Unless someone goes, check this out, I always check it out. And you know, if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But fucking,
when you're not emotionally invested in it, you've got to like. There has to be something that's going to make me spend 2 minutes listening to it.
Yeah, exactly.
It has to be. You have to have something.
Everything moves too quick these days, man, and our brains are no different, bro. Like, you know, we need something. We need a reason to be spending our time doing this or doing that, you know.
And so many bars have been spat. I want to hear something that's either a new version of what's already been done. And what I find, being from the battle world and having consumed so much battle knowledge, and then coming to the music world, there's things that musicians do that are no-nos in the battle world. And there's like lines that musicians use, or like a feeling that a musician will use that battling's been using for years. I often hear things and I'm like, oh yeah, I heard that in a battle fucking 6 years ago. I feel like battling is like the highest form of the English language, as far as like songs aren't trying to, like, they're not about being overly intricate. They're about creating vibes. Whereas battling is that's what it's about, especially a cappella battling. Like, your shit needs to be so fucking intricate. Everything needs to be connected on so many different levels, especially when you go into like King of the Dots and things like that.
I agree, man. I think battling it's awesome that you've brought this perspective, because we've never had anyone like so invested in this world. So it's cool to hear from you. And like I wanted to ask you. So since we're talking about battling and everything, Cursor verse 360 back in the day, like 2012, was it? Whatever it was. Who you
I
back,
remember
bro?
walking around work, and that was all I was rapping. Like, now I rap at work. It's my shit that I'm rapping. But then those lines, bro. I'm just trying to think of some now. That was fucking.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I was saying this a while ago. I don't remember who, to my homies. I was like, bro, why was Curse of Verse 360 so huge? Everybody was on that, and they don't even listen to rap. They don't like music. It's all everyone was talking about, and it's just so weird to me that it got
probably
so much
the most
traction.
mainstream that a battle in Australia has been.
Oh, 100%.
Was that?
It was the first time an Escalade and a hipster battled, really.
Well, they were both musicians too. It was the first time two musicians, or one of the first times two musicians stepped into the battle cage.
That's right. Yeah.
Although Cursor was battling for. Oh no, they were both battlers. No, that's probably not true. They were both pretty high leveled battlers before they battled each other. I'd say Cursor took it.
I agree.
Yeah, I reckon Cursor took it. I like 360's lad bars. They were all pretty funny, but he didn't have any like mad memorable punchlines that I can remember.
Curse is a good battler, man. Say what you will about him and his music or whatever, but he's a good battler. He was good at what he did, man. Crowd control, everything. Like he was good, man.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much more intelligence that goes into it. He just looks like a lad up there spitting his knife bars, but like the projection to the crowd, the knowing when to have things land, when to have there's so much more to it. People would be surprised if they actually like sat down and got into a battle. Best way to do it's text battling. That's how I started. It was just text battling. BARZ on Facebook. I was text battling there, and then was like, "This is dope. I quite enjoy this." And then went to a Real Talk event actually, and Dwiz was at the door and was like, "I'm interested to like get started. What do I do?" And he's like, "Bro, step your pen up and come through. See what you got."
So what do you mean text battling? Like literally typing?
Wow. Well, it's kind of like there's leagues for it. So it'll be like you'll be versus me. We'll have 16 bars each, and then it'll be like in the thing. The moderator will put up the battle information, then I'll have my first round in the comments, then you'll have your first round under my first round, then we'll have our second round, which we rebuttal parts of our first round. Texting, there's a lot more rebuttaling in it because you've got a day or 7 hours or something to come up with it. So you're basically just shitting on everything they've said about you and then continuing to shit on them more.
Oh my God, I've never heard of this. That's insane.
That's where the crazy wordplays are, where they have to like write in brackets next to it what they're saying, and like it's a whole world. It's a whole world, bro. There's a few people that I've seen battle on King of the Dot, like Chrome, Krome, who started on bars. Like I used to watch him on the bars page, read his shit on the bars page. And then exactly, he just progressed. He's battled DNA now. He's battled like all sorts of people just because, and I sort of didn't have such a massive, but mine was sort of the same thing. I was text battling, enjoying it, was pretty good at it. Had my first battle. My first battle, the dude didn't show up. So I ended up battling the dude and his opponent didn't show up. So we ended up battling each other with the bars that we had for the other people. So it's kind of like cringe as fuck, but
yeah.
It was a good first experience. And the dude that I bought was like this little Weasley fucker that I'd taken to the last event. So I had like mad relevant shit about that. And the dude that I battled was like this fucking massive snap my neck motherfucker. Yeah. I'm like screaming in his face, like, "Oh, you big fuck!" Nah, not really. Not really. There's no real fear that there's gonna be a punch on. It's not. Yeah. You talk about someone's dead homies or something like that, you deserve to get swung on. But nobody goes to those real extremes in the Australian scene. It's not, the shock and awe is there a little bit, but it's not like, not that I experienced. It's not tipping your dirt out for everyone to fucking consume.
Mostly lighthearted. Now, I got to ask you as well on the battles. Have you seen those fucking, I've seen a lot of terrible rap battles, man. And like, it's just where you have to kind of keep pausing the video because you're cringing a little bit. And then you got to, to keep playing, take a break. I've seen one where it's an Australian rap battle. There's quite a few Australian ones, man. It's just like, obviously not the big brands and things, but like just the little people getting their homies. Man, have you seen any of those? And what advice do you really have for people who want to maybe battle instead of, going into music per se as much, but more for battling advice?
I would say you've got to it's hard. You've got to have experience, but it's like a job. You've got to have experience, but the only way to do it is to do it. Like the only way to get your experience is to do it. You've got to just get out there, man. Honestly, that's that would be like, I don't even know if there's an out there to get anymore, but if there is still leagues kicking around and there is that stuff, you got to take your losses. You've got to fucking get shit on by someone you thought you were going to body. I learnt more, as like cliche as it is, but I learnt more the times that I got my ass whooped than I did the times that I body bagged people. Like, straight up. Yeah. Find a way that they use the crowd that you haven't used yet and use that. Which is, like, going off that, Haruli's known for his flow. He was like a flow dude. That was his thing. So then going into the Sage Moon thing, I feel like I'd absorbed some of Haruli's style because I've got some mad, like, flow parts in the Sage thing that I never flowed. I was always, like, talk rap. I never had any interest in double timing during the battles or anything like that. But you listen, and it's like I evolved to sort of consume that element of his style into mine.
Yeah, me too, man. I've been thinking that.
There's some dope ones, bro. There's some dope ones. My favorite is probably Verse Bad Man, and I traveled to Melbourne for that one.
Oh, shit.
And the whole time he's like, oh, I might show up, man. I might not. And I'm like, oh, well, bro, I'm like flying here to battle you. So like, if you're not going to show up, I won't bother. And there's a dude called Sturdy who's like pretty big in the battle world. So the hosts were like, all right, if he doesn't show up, you know, we'll just let you battle Sturdy with the lines for him because that'll be a bigger look for you anyway. The dude at Badman ended up rocking up on the day with like 17 people in the crowd. I ripped his fucking head off and threw it at him, and then they all fucked off.
Yeah.
Good battle, man. Good battle.
I'm sure we do.
Bro, you guys had Got Beef.
Oh yeah, I've seen Got Beef. Yeah.
But the host was outed for doing despicable things, and so.
Of course he was. Of course.
Yeah.
So for you, what's your most personal song you got? One that you really spilled your emotions into?
Probably If Pillows Could Talk. It's about basically like a dude like overpowering a woman, and this pillow watches it all happen. And I remember during the studio session, there's like this yell before it goes into like, or like this like before it goes into like the real like full on side of the song. And I remember that every time we were recording it, I'd do that yell, and then I'd start to get like shaking in my hands, and my voice would start to like tremor. And I was like, fuck, because I was like so like invested in the emotion of it. I'd have to be like, all right, stop. I do that yell again, and I got to come in not sounding so like I'm affected by the yell. Definitely that. I've got a song called Turn Back Time featuring Young Stitch. Shout out to Young Stitch. About one of my very, very good friends that killed himself quite a few years ago. Obviously, like in that shit, I'm talking to him. It's sort of like Joyner Lucas, I'm Sorry. Definitely inspired by that sort of vibe. If you guys haven't heard that song, I highly recommend you check it out. But you have?
Yeah,
bro,
yeah,
after he killed himself, I couldn't listen to that song. I couldn't fucking listen to that song. That's how much Joyner has like depicted the feeling of someone who loses someone to suicide so well that song will come on. I'd hear those first, and I'd just be like, nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. So then when I wanted to do the same thing, that was sort of what I was coming with. I got Young Stitch to sing the hook. Young Stitch did a verse. I got Non-Jura to add a guitar solo at the end. It's a vibe, man. It's definitely a vibe.
Yeah, man, I fuck with Young Stitch.
Yeah, he's got skills, bro. Yeah, I hit him up for the first feature is Lyrical Conquest, which is coming out on the 26th. But we've done like 8 features since then. I just kept hitting him up because I was like, fuck, I got a song. I need someone who's gonna kill it. Stitch, jump on this shit. Stitch, jump on this shit. I've got a lot of respect for him too. He's often made me feel less like someone paying for features and more like a counterpart in a different part of the world.
Yeah, that's dope.
So,
when
they for that.
Yeah, when someone's invested, like regardless of whether you're fucking paying or not, like, you know, it's a job. Like people who put their all into everything they do. Like if you're passionate about music, you have to come and show up every time. It doesn't matter if someone's paying for your time or whatever. You got to put it in, you know. And I respect people who do that.
It's also, if you've got a collaboration together, that's like a connection that you guys have for life. Like as long as music exists, you guys are going to have that. And what I love about it is like the back and forwarding of it all coming together. What do you think of this artwork? Or what do you think of your face in this? What do you think of how this? It's like the whole experience of a collaboration. That's what I enjoy most of all. And then having the dope product at the end. none of the songs that I've got with semi-big names popped anyway. They all got shitty fucking views. So that whole logic of getting such and such on a song so it'll pop, it's never popped for me.
It's marketing. It's marketing more than anything. No matter what song you make, you got to market the fucker. Even the song with the game, like the game, bro. That's only. It's got about 13K streams or something now. Which, you know, but you look at any game song and, you know, it's in the bloody millions. Yeah, but, you know, we don't have the firepower to market that song. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know, it's a gamble features, really. It's a gamble. It can pay off and it can also just flop, you know?
Exactly. Don't go into it thinking that the song's going to pop just because you've got Drake on it. Just go into it wanting to make a mad song with Drake, put it out in their universe, and
see what happens.
Will consume it the way they will. Exactly right. I've definitely evolved as far as a song coming out. It was originally, I didn't have a build up or an after period of the song. I just knew when I was going to release the song, dropped some promo for the song, let everyone know the song was out. As I've learned, it's anticipation. You really need to create anticipation, whether that's snippets, whether that's, you know, your artwork not being fully revealed. No one cares. At the end of the day, no one cares.
No one cares.
You've got to fucking, obviously you've got to not hold on to that, and you've got to not let that be a reason why you don't keep moving forward, because otherwise you'll make nothing. So you've got to know no one cares, and you've got to feed them little bits of what you've got coming in a way that it makes them want to listen to the entire song. That's kind of how I am now. I've always been very, I've found visuals to be one of the most important things. Almost at the start, I was focusing more on the visuals than the songs. I've learned that that's obviously the wrong thing to do, but making sure you got a mad cover art, making sure you got a mad visualizer to match that cover art. If I don't know you and you tell me to link to a song and I click on YouTube and there's just a picture, I'm going to listen to 30 seconds of that song staring at that fucking picture, and I'm going to get bored and I'm going to turn something off. Especially if you haven't said anything that I find to spark some sort of interest in me. If you've got a mad visualizer or you've got a mad music video or something like that, it's so much more likely that I'm going to put more effort into listening to it. And that's what I've tried to do. You can go back through all my shit, even when I was making music that I consider cringe now. It all had dope artwork. I was spending way more money than I should have on the artworks. It all had visualizers. The artworks all move. They all it's all visually, it's all that was where I was pushing, the visual side. And then once you've got that side nailed, have a dope song to fall back on.
That's interesting, man. I'm looking, me especially, and I know us as a label really, looking to step up the whole visual side. That's kind of where we're moving. Music videos, everything. You know who I think has got it right in terms of marketing is Mo B. Mo B always wants to print out flyers and stick them on fucking telephone poles and put, how many times have you seen a bumper sticker, right? And it's got a business or just a random Instagram name, and your human curiosity is like, fuck, I want to look up this fucking name. That's the type of shit that I think works best. If you go to a really crowded area and put a poster on a fucking wall, I think that's going to get a lot more views than you posting something on social media that just gets lost in the wind, you know?
For sure, yeah.
And
people
that's the type
of shit
I want to
roll
work
their
on.
eyes when they read your social media post. That's how I feel. Pre-save my song, people look at it and they're like, no one's like,
yeah.
They're
lazy.
Track. I'm keen for that. And I mean, that's just what we've got to deal with. What my whole coming into music, my goal for making it my way to bring in income is I'm going to get my core 1,000 fans. That's what I'm working towards at the moment. My 5-year plan of getting my core 1,000 fans. You get your core 1,000 fans to spend $100 a year towards your music. That's $100,000 a year. That's double what I make now working.
That's a good way to think about it. Yeah.
There's 6 billion people on the planet. How the fuck can you not get 1,000 people that fuck with your shit? So that's basically what I'm pushing towards, the core 1,000, creating that inner circle. I don't have it quite unlocked with the Discords and stuff like you guys do, just because I'm a real anti-social cunt. So I find that side of it very difficult to, but that's the plan. And that's what I'm working towards. That's since the start, that's sort of been the plan. And that's nothing, bro. That's nothing.
Right.
$50 for a shirt, $20 for a hat.
I'm taking that on board, bro. That's how I'm gonna start to look at it, man. Because
Bro,
that
you
that is a
definitely
great
should.
way to break it down for sure. And
You
I
definitely
mean,
should.
we're in the position now where we do so much stuff that it probably isn't that hard to get people to spend 100 in different places. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And throughout a year, exactly right.
Yeah.
A few shows here and there. Yeah, bro. That is my plan for how I will eventually like clock in at 8 o'clock in the morning and do some verses and do some features and, you know, do this as my job. I drive forklifts at the moment, but that ain't gonna be forever. Yeah, bro. Exactly.
Fuck it.
Yep. So often, being that I start in the afternoon, I'll be in like a creative peak and I'm like smashing it out, and then I look at the clock and I gotta stop and get ready for work. So often, bro. And it's like, feel my energy fucking deplete back down. I fucking hamster wheel, get in my car, go through the motions of doing my slavery, come back and
back to reality. You gotta snap back.
Yep.
And plug yourself, bro. Tell the people where we can find you.
So I mainly use Instagram. That's my main socials. I know I should have Twitter. I should have it all, but I'm just so like struggling to keep up at the moment that I want to be able to give the attention to the people that are there at the moment without bringing other people on just yet. So at the moment, personal space, official personal space on Instagram, personal space hip hop on YouTube. I don't really use Facebook. I've got it, but that's more for like real life friends and contacts. I do have personal space hip hop on Facebook that can be reached. What else did you say? Upcoming plans. Yeah. So I've got quite a few songs on my computer that I'm just piecing together to make an EP. So that's going to be coming after we finish our KONQUEST stuff. I kind of feel like all of the projects I've put together have been how I put verses together. They've just sort of been stuff that I've had that I've made work. Whereas moving forward with the next one, I want it to, from start to finish, be made in that order. Be no Frankensteining it together. I want it to be like everything feel like it's the same. Exactly. Yeah. Not even like necessarily a topic theme, but just like a sound theme and a feel theme. That'll be called Lost in Neverland. So that'll be dropping.
I like that.
Probably end of the year, start of next year. Daniel Raymond hit me up about us doing a joint EP start of next year. He's going to supply the beats. I'll supply the fire. So that'll be coming. Hit Daniel Raymond up, bro, for some beats, because he's got some decent shit. I mean, I know you make beats, so I'm not undercutting your beat making abilities. I'm just saying that he's got some fire. Yeah. And that's what you need on this shit. You need connections over everything, over skill level, over money. Like, connections is really the best leg up that you can have. That's been my biggest thing. Like, I've been quick to lose connections over silly things and not just like hold on to shutting the fuck up for 24 hours and keep that bridge from dissolving. That would be the advice I would give people. Make sure that you build connections as much as possible, especially at the start. There's so many like dope cunts out there that are willing to help. You've just got to like put yourself in their radius. Exactly right. Yeah. Shout outs to Meg for being the fucking dope cunt that I found, for sure.
So everyone, that was Personal Space, bro. Thank you so much for coming on. And we will definitely be running this back.
All right. Cheers for having me on, fellas.
Thanks for coming, bro.
Yep, Meg. We'll hit another song soon, bro, for sure.
Oh, 100%. Check out Vigilance.
Yes,
Vigilance.
Out now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, bro, send me more beats. Always down to